Alright YouTube, so we are back, of course, to talk about some Final Fantasy VII Remake, and what we have today is a video I've been wanting to make for a couple of weeks now. So a bit of context is, I mentioned recently that I've been going back through and playing Remake on hard mode finally. By the way, I'm like more than halfway through, took a bit of a break, I think I'm like chapter 12 or 13 or something. But with my first initial playthrough, like a hardcore playthrough from beginning to end of Remake around launch, like I played it like I normally play video games, no headset, usually music or something on in the background. I'm focused on the game, but I'm not like super immersed. But now with my hard mode playthrough, I have been playing with the headset on, so whenever I'm playing a Remake, like, it's all my attention's on. Like, I'm super focused, super immersed into the world, exploring and looking at everything. And a bit of gameplay that I recorded around the beginning of February that I believe I've already used in a video, but right here you see me put a lot of emphasis on this sign. Because it's something that I've never seen before, because I never really paid attention to, like, the background details in Remake that much. Like, right away when I've seen this, my first thought was Temple of the Ancients. Now, what it actually is a poster for a movie within the Remake universe called Stamp and the Hidden Treasure. Now, compelled me to finally want to make this video is that Audrey, of course, is doing translations of that Midgard news thing that we looked at the other day. There's actually like an ad within this newspaper or whatever it is for that movie, like promoting it. And she says, Stamp has his own movie series in FF7R according to Midgard News. The newest one is called Stamp and the Hidden Treasure, in theaters for 28 days only. The movie plays at the Shinra Theater in Sector 5. The movie poster shows Stamp riding a camel heading towards a pyramid. Now, as we talked about the other day, you're not allowed to show anything from that Midgard News shit, which is why she used just a generic picture of Stamp, but somebody did reply to our tweet with an actual decent screenshot from in-game. Shout out to them. So right here with this screenshot, we get a very good look at the poster, and again, my first thought whenever I seen this was Temple of the Ancients because of the design of like the pyramid/temple in the background. And what I mean by this is that the Temple of the Ancients has a very distinct design, right? Nothing else in FF7 looks like this, and they could have designed this like temple where Stamp is going for the hidden treasure a million different ways, but they obviously modeled it after the Temple of the Ancients. As the layers that get smaller as it goes up, very distinct attribute to the Temple of the Ancients, and the solid staircase that leads up to the door, right? There's not multiple sets of stairs, just one solid staircase. Of course, that's how the Temple of the Ancients is as well. And the only difference between the two really is the top. The top within the movie is like a pyramid, whereas the top of the Temple of the Ancients is more like a building structure or something. And actually another difference would be that with the pyramid design of the movie temple and the fact that Stamp is riding a camel, that makes you think of a desert, of course, whereas the Temple of the Ancients in FF7 is in the middle of a jungle. Anyways, after Audrey made her tweet, several people replied to it mentioning the Temple of the Ancients, and that's another thing that kind of compelled me to want to make the video because I'm not the only one seeing this. Other people are thinking that as well. Now, some of these people seem to think that it's some sort of like super meta, like Easter egg or reference to Zack, and that maybe we're going to see Zack at the Temple of the Ancients or something like that. Which I think, I understand where they're coming from because Stamp is like a metaphor for Zack and sometimes Cloud. Some people think that it is Cloud as well. And obviously we hear Barrett called Cloud Stamp a few times. What I think is more likely and what's going on here is that for one, Stamp is a mascot for Shinra, right? So they're kind of interchangeable. So you could say that the movie is called Shinra and the Hidden Treasure. The Hidden Treasure being within the Temple of the Ancients, right? They're going after the Ancients to try to find the Promised Land. It's really all I think it is. I think within the Remake universe, this is a fictional movie made by potentially the Shinra Company themselves that's like an indirect reference to them trying to find the Ancients. The Shinra Company is very infatuated with the Ancients both in the original game and in Remake, but with the Remake universe, it seems like they're more knowledgeable on the Ancients, of course, and they probably already know where the Temple of the Ancients is, but maybe just not how to get into it, right? They don't know where the keystone is until we potentially get it for them, just like in the original game. Anyways, dudes, that is pretty much the video. It's just like a little subtle Easter egg within Remake that I think a lot of people probably wouldn't have noticed. And I don't think there's necessarily any like deeper meaning to it, like Stamp is meant to be Zack, meaning we're going to see Zack at the Temple of the Ancients or something like that. It could happen. It could be like some sort of inside, joke or something with the devs that they didn't think anybody would get or understand. But I just don't think that's the case. Now, I do think there is a meta meaning to it with Stamp being a representation of Shinra and Shinra looking for, the Promised Land or any other hidden secrets with the Ancients. But that's kind of it. Is this something that you guys even noticed at all? Did it even catch your attention? Did you think of the Temple of the Ancients when you first seen it? I'm always looking for like these like super subtle Easter eggs to things beyond Midgar, right? Like the graffiti we looked at a while back that's in like the train tunnels, that like the kanji, the Japanese symbols are the same as like Yuffie's limit break. Just subtle things like that that you wouldn't even really catch on to. And if you guys ever come across anything like this, like these small subtle Easter eggs that are just kind of hidden throughout Remake, definitely let me know in the comments, man. I'd love to make videos about this shit. Anyways, my dudes, that's the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys already want to more Final Fantasy VII Remake content. Turn on my notifications. Follow me on Twitter, dashingdavidbusiness, and my Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description. Into the outro. Later, guys.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Rogaine or leave it like Cobain.